Hi traders, welcome to Monetize. It's time for the new weekly review. Now, before we head on to the charts for the technical analysis, let's understand what's going on fundamentally in the market. In the recent week, we have seen a good correction in the stock markets as well as the crypto market. Why so? Because on Jan 26th, the US Federal Reserve is going to announce the monetary policy, and it is believed that interest rates would be hiked very soon because they want to control the inflation. So, whenever the interest rates would be high, the money supply would be tightened in the market and the cost of money goes up. So the corporates are being cautious and the market sentiment is being turned from risk on to risk off. That's the reason the safer asset class or the safer currencies like Swiss franc and Japanese yen they sold in the market along with the precious metal like gold. So now let's check the charts and understand the key levels of support and resistance which will help you in trading in the upcoming week. So let's start the recording and we are on DXY starting with the weekly time frame. Let me zoom in a bit and what we have on DXY weekly time frame chart. What I've mentioned in the text version today, let me change the color. 1 second. See the MACD histogram, they are still pointing downwards, and we have a bearish cross on the MACD lines. So that's the reason I've mentioned that weekly is still showing some downwards pressure. Let's check on the daily. Daily. Interestingly, it was range bound for quite some time from the you can say end of November till mid January. So what happened in mid of January? We got a break below this area, a bearish break. Then it pushed downwards, reached to the area of support, exactly this one. If you want to check the numbers, this is around 94.65. And if we draw a rising trend line joining the low points, we will notice that this was a false break to the downside. The market closed above the rising trend line. Now it's again a neutral kind of situation for DXY. So that's the reason I've mentioned 94.65 acted as support. The market rebounded and bounced really sharp, closed above the rising trend line. So this break becomes a false break to the downside. Now this is the area where most of the orders are accumulated and it's a strong resistance zone. Let me highlight again. It's already highlighted. Let me mark it again. This area. So if DXY is number one, the condition number one, if it is able to break above this falling trend line and close above the rising trend line area, then I can expect a continuation higher, something like this. Sorry, where's the line tool? 1 minute. Yeah, then it's 1 minute, guys. Yeah, and then I can expect something like this for the bullish continuation. Else, if it is not able to break above the falling trend line, we can see it breaking down to the lower side like this. So let's see after the FMC announcement which is the direction for the US dollar. Let's move on to the next one now, which is gold. Gold. Okay, now in my previous analysis, I was anticipating a push higher and we got it. Okay, it reached to the falling trend line resistance area, the next one, which I've mentioned in my previous blog, and took a pause. This is the 1830 zone, this one. So, this bullish candle, 1 minute. This one, this bullish candle broke above the 1830 resistance zone. Now the main thing, once a resistance or support is broken, what we need a retest, a valid retest of this area as a support. So retest could be exactly to the 1830 level, which it has already reached once, or it can be a bit lower until the market stays above this rising trend line or the second support line, which is around 1805. Now the area between 1830 and 1805 is pretty wide, but because of the FOMC announcement in the upcoming week, we can expect some wild moves from this market. So until unless the gold holds above this rising trend line, I'll be bullish in my view, something like this. And if it does not hold above the rising trend line or this 1805 support, and if it's able to break below, then I'll be expecting some bearish moves like this. All right, guys. So this zone 1805 to 1830 is the critical zone. Let's monitor it and take our trades accordingly. Now I'm moving on to the next one, which is WTI crude oil. WTI, one thing I want to show you, the channel, the weekly channel. This is the rising channel. Okay, it reached to the bottom of the rising channel and bounced higher. Now when we check the fib extension from the swing low, the recent most swing low, to the intermediate high and the custom point, we find fib extension 200 level exactly at 87.78. To round off, you can say 87.80. The crude oil reached exactly to fib extension 200 area and took a pause. Now what are the support zones which it needs to retest on the pullback? The first support area is this one, which is around 83.65, or maybe we can say around 82.75 to 83.65. So either it may retest this area and bounce higher. So again, a retest can be like a touch on that area as a support and bounce, or it can be a deeper retest like this one. So in case of a deeper retest, we may see a deeper pullback, which can be a pullback to the support around 79.90, or to be 80 level, to round off at 80. And in case if it breaks below this 80 support level, then we can see a deeper pullback, and this pullback can be like this. It may come down towards 74-75 area, push back, come down again to the rising trend line of the rising support line of the rising channel, and then continue higher. So there can be various permutations and combinations in which the correction may take place, but one thing is sure, that I'm not going to buy at the current levels. These levels are very, very high. I need some sort of correction. Now, there are various forms of correction. Let me tell you. Okay, now if this is a bullish move, this can be a correction downwards. It can be a bullish flag and then continuation higher. The other scenario, after a bullish move, we can have a flat correction, a sideways range, and then continuation higher. The third scenario, it can be a two waves correction to the downside. So there can be various forms of correction. I can't say which one is going to come, but I'm definitely waiting for the correction and not going to buy at these levels. So let it cool down. It's actually too high to enter into the buy market right now. So let it cool down, let it come back either to this area or maybe a little bit deeper. Then I will look to enter into buy trades as per the confirmation on the lower time frames. I hope it's clear. And now I'm moving on to the last one, which is Nifty. Okay, before moving to Nifty analysis on the daily time frame, I'm switching to the weekly. On the weekly, we have a rising channel, very similar to the crude oil thing, and it bounced higher from the rising channel lower boundary, the support on the rising channel trend line, which is the lower boundary. Now, what I was anticipating in the previous months, that it would come down deeper, maybe towards this area, which is around 15,900, 15,800 to 15,500. It did not, it rather bounced from the trend line, the rising trend line. Okay, so if we check on the daily now, on the daily, we got, one second. On the daily, we got lower lows on the price action, the chart, and higher lows on MACD. So it was a bullish divergence scenario, followed by a break above this trend line, the following trend line. So it was an impulsive bullish move because it also gave me the convergence. Now, what is convergence? The convergence is the break of the resistance at midpoint. So it was a clear bullish divergence followed by convergence scenario a few days ago. So in such a case, what I do, I normally wait for the retest to the midpoint, the point which was acting as a resistance. It was broken. Now it should act as support. So ideally, if it's acting as a support, the market should come back to that area and bounce from that area, take support, which did not happen. Number two, the point of concern here is this was the previous high, which was around 18,000, 18,595, 18,600. So if the market is bullish, it is believed it should make a new high. But this area, now it's a lower high. So what we can see here, it's a lower high situation, number one, which is not a much of concern to me because market can come back and bounce again to the higher side. But the point of concern is these moves, these bearish moves are coming with full momentum. it has not taken support at this area, which was around 17,500 to 17,600. Now let's check on the lower time frames. On the lower time frames, everything is going downwards. The MACD histogram, the MACD lines, and even the bearish candles are gaining momentum. This is the point of concern. So now the next area of support is around this rising trend line and the horizontal support. This horizontal support comes around 16,975 to 16,882. So we can say the round number 16,900 or 17,000. See this area, support, 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 multiple touches with the bounce. So it should hold as support for the bulls to continue higher. Sorry, 1 minute. It should hold as support and continue higher. But in case if it does not, then it's a trouble time for the bulls. Then it's going to be the takeover from the bearish party. Then we can expect a breakdown, a retest, and continuation lower. Continuation lower, this time if it happens, it would be pretty deep. The levels which we missed earlier are around 15,500 to 15,900. So if it breaks below this time with a successful retest as resistance, then we may see 15,500 to 15,900 in the upcoming days. And taking a clue from the global stock market, I'm not very confident for the bulls. Let's hope for the best. I believe this video will help you in trading in the upcoming week. If you want to check the trading courses on my website, which is www.monetize.in, you can log in and do so. We have various courses starting from beginners to intermediate to advanced levels. Also, guys, if you need to know anything about trading, any particular topic, I would like to hear it from you. You can leave your comment and send your feedback. Show your support, subscribe to my channel, and hit the like icon. Thank you.